Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe. I'm a Forbes contributor covering social entrepreneurship and impact investing, and I am just so excited. Our guest today is Baer. He is the New York Times bestselling author of Utility. He's got a new book coming out called Talk Triggers, and we are going to have so much fun today. Stick around.
Welcome to Your Mark on the World, bringing you another changemaker with champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
Jay, welcome to the show.
Devin, thank you so much for having me. I am delighted to be here. Let's do this thing.
All righty. Jay, I am so honored, so excited to talk to you. I have looked up to you for years.
Very kind.
I heard you speak probably 5 years ago. I studied every word I wrote down. I mean, I'm one of those guys, right? So this is kind of a fanboy moment for me to have an opportunity to talk to you. Utility was brilliant. I loved your book, the New York Times bestseller. Tell us a little bit about your upcoming book that will be released this fall, Talk Triggers.
Yeah, I've been in, and thank you for the kind words, Devin. I've been in digital marketing now for 25 years. When I started in digital marketing, domain names were free. You could just get whatever domain name you wanted because who would want such a thing? So I've been doing this a long time. And what I've discovered in the last couple of years is that as we get more and more and more sucked into the digital maelstrom, and certainly lots of conversation about that recently, what I've found is that the face-to-face actual conversations between human beings take on greater importance and greater persuasive power. If I send you a tweet that recommends something, that has weight. But if you and I have an actual conversation and I recommend something, that has even greater weight. And so my new book is called Talk Triggers. It's all about word of mouth and how any business, any organization, nonprofit, for-profit, can do something different operationally that creates conversations and helps them grow their operation.
And this is important stuff. Now, you're the founder of Convince and Connect.
Convince and Convert, yes.
Convince and Convert. I apologize.
No, it's all right.
Tell us a little bit about what the firm does.
So as I mentioned, I've been in online marketing forever. This firm celebrates its 10-year anniversary in July, and Convince and Convert is a virtual consultancy. So I have high-level strategists all over the U.S. and beyond. We work with many large organizations, the United Nations, Allstate, Hilton Hotels, Grand Ole Opry, many other organizations, Oracle, to help them improve their social media, their content marketing, their sort of digital marketing in general, and now increasingly word of mouth marketing as well. So we're not an agency. We don't do tactical execution work. We're not going to make you an ad or write your copy, but we do a lot of strategic planning, and we work with organizations that are already really good at these kind of things and help them become great.
It is so important these days. Give us a sense of, from your experience, how important is social media as a part of marketing?
Well, I think it's almost impossible to not have social media as at least a fairly significant plank of your marketing approach today, only because, Devin, it's where people spend so much time. More and more of Americans, at least, are spending time on a mobile device, of course. And the preponderance of the time spent on mobile devices are spent in apps. And the preponderance of that time is spent in social media apps: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, etc., Pinterest. So there is some wisdom to a statement that says you should be marketing in the places that people are spending time, which is why billboards on busy streets cost more than billboards on non-busy streets. It's the same principle, right? So you should definitely be doing some social media because it is authentic in some ways and can be exceptionally powerful. Now, I think it's fair to say that social media marketing has gotten manifestly more complicated and difficult in recent years. The competition is out of control. Facebook and other social networks have sort of changed the rules and the nature of the game a little bit. So it's not like taking candy from a baby anymore. That's for sure. But for nonprofits, it is incredibly good news, because what works in social media today are authentic stories that move people. And if you don't have those stories in your nonprofit, you have a bigger problem than social media.
That's right. Everyone who's working in this social entrepreneurship space, nonprofit or for-profit, they've got a cause, a purpose, mission. And so you'd expect them to have stories that have impact.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that is what sells. That's what works.
Yeah. I do a lot of volunteer work here in my town of Bloomington, Indiana, and I'm always working with nonprofits and startup organizations and saying, look, don't make it about the social, not about the media. Just tell the story. Ideally with video, because video disproportionately performs in every social network. So just take a video of the kids doing a cool thing. Just take a video of you working on the water project. Don't try and sell anybody. Let the story sell for you, and you're way better off. And that sometimes is difficult advice for people to put into practice because they think they have to do marketing. I'm like, don't worry about that. Just tell stories. Now, the other thing that's really great about social entrepreneurs and nonprofits is that today in social media, what works better are stories that are posted to social media by an individual more so than by an organization or a company. So if you can get your team, if you can get your volunteers, if you can get your donors, your supporters, your tribe, if you will, to actually tell those stories in their own accounts, you will be much better off than if you just try to throw stories out on your own official Facebook, Instagram, Twitter account.
That is, tremendous advice for nonprofit organizations. I think every organization, nonprofits, all social entrepreneurs, enterprises are struggling to create that authentic connection. And we all fall prey to
trying too hard. Just turn on the camera. Just turn on the camera and capture great stuff, right? I mean, everybody's just trying too hard.
So what are some examples of things you've seen work especially well?
One of my very favorite organizations, and I'm a supporter of this organization, is Charity Water. Charity Water is incredibly good at social media, and it's almost always video-based storytelling. They put wells in lots and lots and lots of really difficult geographical third world areas and prevent people, primarily women, from having to walk 6, 8, 10, 12 miles each way for water every day. And it changes people's lives in ways that we can't really even envision here using our high-tech Wi-Fi setup. And it really is an extraordinary organization. And the way they perpetuate and grow the organization is not through some massively complicated marketing campaign. It's let's take a good video every time we do a project and let's show people the video. So end of strategy, right? And when you show people the truth and you do it in a way that doesn't feel ham-handed, the truth will sell on your behalf.
So let's talk about Charity Water. They've got a good budget. They raise a lot of money every year.
They sure do.
So are you talking about, in this case, are these videos cell phone videos that are shot live and uploaded, or are these professionally produced videos that they're sharing that get that raw emotion?
Yeah, I think both. What's interesting in the video space right now is the difference between a crew, right, a video crew, and what you can do with a $50 light and an iPhone is getting closer together, right? It really is. And so in many cases, you don't need to have a giant video infrastructure to do this well. And what's interesting, Devin, I'm sure you noticed this, is that in some cases, video that is, how best to describe this, under-polished actually performs better because it is believed to be more authentic. Like I would make sure that people do not feel like you have to make your video perfect, because if it's perfect, then sometimes it feels like a commercial, and then that isn't as authentic or impactful. So it's, as long as it's good, it's fine. It doesn't need to be Hollywood grade. It can't be terrible either, right? Because there is still something to be said for a video that you can actually see and audio that you can hear. But the execution of the video shouldn't be the problem. There's also some great books out there about that. One that I recommend a lot is called Vlog, VLOG, like a boss, from my friend Amy Schmittauer. Really great kind of how to do video for people who haven't done much of it.
Talk Triggers comes out in October, right?
Yep.
People can pre-order it right now on Amazon, right?
Yeah, which is a bold move, considering I haven't turned in the final edits, but if you want to pre-order it now, I love you. That is a leap of faith that I can get behind. It's going to be a great book. It's tons of case studies and examples, many small businesses. I'm going to tell you my favorite small business story. Can I do that? You got 2 minutes? All right. So the idea of a talk trigger is that it's not a stunt, right? It's not a marketing hook. It's an operational differentiator that you bake into your organization, and it creates conversation every day. It takes your current customers or supporters or donors, and they can't help themselves. They have to tell somebody, which gets you the next round of customers, donors, supporters. So my favorite small business example in the book is a restaurant called Skip's Kitchen in Sacramento, California. Mostly hamburgers, counter service. So you walk in, you order at the menu board, they give you a number, and they bring you your food out when it's ready. Well, Skip started 9 years ago, and he said, we don't have any money. This is he and his wife. We got to figure out a way to get people to remember Skips other than having good food. But the reality is lots of people have good food. It's like saying, when I talk to nonprofits, why should we support you? Because we do good work. Every nonprofit does good work. That's table stakes. Like that's not a rationale. That's just why you should do this at all. So Skip's idea was this. You go to the counter, Devin, you place your order. And then after you place your order, they pull out from underneath the counter a deck of cards, and they fan the cards out in front of you face down. And they say, Devin, pick a card. And if you pick the Joker, your entire meal is free. Now, they give out on average 3.5 free meals per day. And when people win, they go crazy, right? They turn Facebook Live, they're putting on Instagram, Yelp reviews, TripAdvisor reviews. They tell all their friends. In 9 years, Skip's Kitchen has spent $0 on advertising, except for the deck of cards. And they were just named the 29th best hamburger restaurant in the United States. That is their only marketing, is that. So that is the power of word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, it's funny, when I talked to Skip, he said, it's so effective that a lot of people don't know the name of the restaurant, right? They call it the Playing Card Restaurant or the Joker Restaurant. They don't even know that it's called Skip's Kitchen. Like the talk trigger has subsumed their brand. And I'm like, that's pretty good stuff.
That is an amazing example. And there's no reason nonprofits can't achieve that same kind of success.
Just do something different that people will remember.
Jay, I look up to you, as I've mentioned, extraordinary. You had an incredible career. You've launched, I think, 5 multi-million-dollar businesses from scratch. Your current business, Convince and Convert, is doing $4 million a year. You're a New York Times bestselling author. You're a big friggin' deal.
Well, thank you. That's not true, at least according to anybody who lives in this house. I am. I couldn't be the smaller deal. It's like, take out the trash, idiot. So yes, but thank you. There's a very, 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 very select group of people in this country and beyond who actually know my work, and amongst those people, sometimes they are complimentary, as are you. So thank you. But I got to tell you, there's a difference between having a marketing book that people know and being actually famous. I walk through Vegas with a lot of anonymity every single time, and I'm glad for it. I would not want to be real world famous. That's for sure.
Well, Jay, with all your experience, what is the most important lesson you've learned?
The most important lesson I've learned, I'm going to give you 2, which is against the rules, but I'll give you 2 and you can use whichever one you like best. The first, especially for early stage organizations, small companies, startups, social entrepreneurship programs, the most important word is no, not yes. It's so tempting when you're starting out to say yes to everything because you're hungry. You're hungry for experience. You're hungry for cash. You're hungry to just get involved. You're like, sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, absolutely. And then you spread yourself so thin that it actually delays your optimization curve and delays your success curve. So when you're first starting out, having the courage to say, you know what, that's not the perfect project, or not the perfect opportunity, so I'm just not going to do it, is I think really good advice. Hard to do psychologically, but good advice. And my second lesson, and it's constantly reinforced, because literally right here off camera, there's a sign right on my wall right here that my mom got me when I started this company 10 years ago. And it says, accept that some days you're the pigeon and some days you're the statue. And that really helps because, it's never going as good as you think it is. And it's never going as bad as you think it is. So I'm involved in a lot of things, and I'm super grateful for everybody who follows my work. But there's definitely ups and downs in this business, and that kind of philosophy really keeps me pretty even keel, and that has served me well over the years, definitely.
That is a great reminder. Now, Jay, what is your superpower?
My superpower is probably, I'm going to give you two again. One, pattern recognition. So I can see things start to coalesce and germinate down the road a little bit. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a futurist, but I can definitely see patterns pretty well, which is why I try and write books. And by the time the book is out, that trend is sort of in the market. So that's been useful. But I'll tell you what my real superpower is, which is judging talent. I have hired hundreds of people in my career, and they almost all have worked out swimmingly. And one of the things I'm most proud of, Devin, is now I think the current number is 17, maybe it's 18 people that I have hired who have worked for me now run their own companies with their own teams and their own departments. And so I've sort of spun off a lot of entrepreneurs, and I'm really, really proud of that.
That is great. That is great. Well, Jay, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. We can't wait to get your new book. Tell us how people can connect with you on social media.
Yeah, so I'm Jay Baer on pretty much all the social networks, fairly easy to find. Convinceandconvert.com is our main site. We have a network of podcasts. We have a daily blog post, a research series, videos, webinars, everything for small and large businesses on social media content marketing. Then my personal site is jaybaer.com.
Fantastic. Well, Jay, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us. We wish you every success in helping more people be more successful.
It was a blast, Devin. We'll do it again. Thanks so much.
All righty. Now, let's do some good.
Thank you for listening. This podcast was recorded via Google Hangouts on Air and is available at youtube.com/Devin Thorpe. Subscribe to this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes by searching for Your Mark on the World. Every weekday, Devin hosts a CEO, celebrity, entrepreneur, or other changemaker here on the Your Mark on the World show to inspire and prepare you to make your mark. Devin is a champion of social good, writing about, advocating for, and advising people who are doing good. He is a Forbes contributor who is a recognized thought leader in social entrepreneurship, impact investing, and crowdfunding. To book Devin as a speaker, visit devinthorpe.com. Learn more about Devin's work at yourmarkontheworld.com.